Morning, guys. Today I just wanted to make a video all about my tongue split coming up. I've talked about this on and off for the last few years here and there. And of course, lots of people have asked me whenever I'll do Q&As or on TikTok and Instagram comments and stuff, whether I'm ever planning on doing it or not. And the answer has always been yes. I've had a deposit in with a body mod artist for the last couple years. I put down a $250 deposit back in 2019, I think it was. And it was just one of those things where, since he's always traveling and I work so much, it's just about lining up our schedules and having time off for a couple days to do it and all that kind of stuff. So turns out that he ended up being in my area conveniently when my work is actually closed for, I think, until Friday. It's Monday now. And so tomorrow, I'll be getting my tongue split, or at least I think I will be. I won't believe it until I'm there, just because I've tried to do this a few times and it's kind of gone sideways on me. And so I'm not saying I'm skeptical about it happening, but I should be getting it done tomorrow. He likes to do tongue splits in the evening, just because that way you can go home and kind of go more or less right to bed. He told me to make sure that I've eaten, 3 meals beforehand. That's another reason that he likes to do it in the evening. And make sure you don't have to eat the first day, not the first day, but the first evening after. The difficulty is the closest place that we can get to get this done, or the closest place he's coming in my area, is about 2.5 hours away. So there is travel time to get there, and of course travel time to get back. My difficulty with getting my tongue split has never been the pain or the healing or anything like that, because I've done things like my fingers and my foot blackouts where you need a week off, whatever, that's fine. The difficulty has always been about getting to someone or knowing someone that can do it well and lining up schedules. So now I can drive there myself and get this done, but my wife is cautious about me driving myself back. So now I have to find someone who can drive me. And that was the real hard part, was finding somebody that would be willing to drive me or able to drive me there. 'Cause driving at night is harder, and driving to a city you don't know very well is harder than driving somewhere in town. And but anyway, that was the real complication. I had a ride figured out. It may have fallen through, so I ended up talking to my mom about it, and it looks like my mom was going to take me to get my tongue split, which is a really funny thing to say. My wife doesn't drive, and she's pretty anxious anyway, so I don't know about big city driving for her, or at night especially. I can imagine it being stressful in a place that she doesn't know very well, even if she could drive. So fortunately, after a long conversation with my dear mom, she has agreed that she will take me if I have no other option. So thankfully, I'll have a way back. I wasn't really that worried about it, that part of it, but then again, I never am. I'm never worried about how it's going to feel after or during or anything like that. I don't have anxiety about any tattoo pain or piercing pain or anything like that. And I don't, and likewise with the tongue split, it's very similar to me. I never worry about what that stuff's going to feel like. I think that makes it easier to handle too. I talked about that in my video about pain and how I deal with it. Is a lot of that is just, I don't think about it. I have no prior thoughts of any of that. And when I sit down for it, because there's no anxiety, it feels a lot less painful. So I think a lot of it comes from the angst. Anyway, I got all the stuff that I needed. I talked to the guy on the phone for about a half an hour last week about it. Where he's going to be when we do it, and how he's going to do it, and Yeah, all the stuff that I need. So I ended up buying alcohol-free mouthwash and saline solution and some gauze, naproxen, Aleve, lots of yogurt and ice cream and soft foods that you don't have to chew. He told me his favorite when he got his done was really, really soft whipped mashed potatoes because it still feels like you get to be a bit of a fat kid after, but you don't have to chew. So definitely got some potatoes and all that good stuff. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. I love stuff like this. I also love the fact that I know I'm going to be sore afterwards. I know I'm going to be kind of useless afterwards for a little while, much like when I got my fingers blacked out the 5 different times. Um, you end up feeling pretty useless and bedbound, and I end up relaxing when I get into that sort of a state because typically if I'm at home and I've got 4 or 5 days off anyway, I don't let myself relax much. I'm always working on something, whether it be making videos or cleaning the house or, make posts on Instagram or, working out or something. I never let myself relax for too long. And when I get these kinds of things done, it forces me into a state where you have no choice but to relax because you don't want to strain yourself. Likewise, when I get tattooed, I always take a couple hours after the tattoo to just sit and just kind of be in a meditative sort of trance. It's been great for me. I've talked about that quite a bit on the podcast too, is every week after a tattoo session, I've got a couple hour period where I don't have anything I have to do. And I find it very, very relaxing to be in those sorts of states. So I'm looking forward to the experience of it. Also, the experience of, like, I've never had this kind of pain before, and new kinds of pain I always find fascinating. Now, I'm going to do a part 2 to this, so maybe I'll come back on part 2 and I'll say how wrong I was in part 1, but I really doubt it. I enjoy the altering of lifestyle that happens when you get heavy mods done, and I enjoy the feeling of feeling thankful for normal life after that you get. Like, say, when my tongue is healed and I can speak properly again and all that stuff, I'll feel grateful for that, and I'll realize that I've been taking it for granted in a way. Same thing when I was first able to pick things up again with the hand that the fingers just got tattooed on, or when I'm able to walk again after foot tattoo, or the time I had an infection in my foot where anytime I took a step it hurt. Yeah, it just makes you thankful for regular life after. And as crazy as it sounds, I really look forward to that sort of alteration in my consciousness for a little while, where you're mindful of some horrible thing that's just happened to you. And I think it must be a little like going to war back in the day, or really feeling some sense of danger. It gives you almost like a storyline that you have to live around or by, and a sense of immediacy to your actions that you just don't have in normal daily life. Anyway, if I end up getting my tongue split, and I'm pretty sure I will, once again, I won't be making any video content for a little while, so that's part of why this video has gone up probably instead of the reacts. I believe it will be instead of reacts this week. We don't have a reacts filmed yet. Reacts are usually done like pretty much day of, or not day of, but a day before they go up. We keep them really current. The podcasts, we're usually working a couple weeks ahead. So we'll still have a podcast up, but we'll probably skip them for a week because I won't be able to talk very well. It's going to take a minute before I can use my voice very well. Even at work, I've told the guys that I work with that for the first week or two, I'm going to be pretty quiet. I'll still be useful, but I won't be able to call the line or, issue too many orders. I'll just be doing the work for a while, taking it easy. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it's a good time and that everything goes well. There's a risk of infection always, but I don't worry too much about that. And otherwise, yeah, I was told the first 2 to 3 days are the worst. Once you make it through that, you're not out of the woods yet, but you're on your way. And if you can make it through the first 2 or 3 days, then with no problems, then you're probably going to be fine. But it is a 1 to 2 week healing period, and it'll be a while before I can eat solid foods again. Luckily for me, I eat eggs every morning, and that's one of the foods that you're allowed to eat. So my breakfast won't change. So I'm happy with that much. I was kind of actually a little side note is I was kind of looking forward to having to eat something else instead of eggs every morning, because that's what I eat every day anyway. It's just part of my diet that I keep. But eggs are on the list of things that are a-okay because you don't have to chew them. So anyway, I'm getting a little lost here, babbling a little bit. I'm pretty excited about it. When I do another video, or another vlog rather, it'll be after my tongue is healed. So this will be the last vlog I do until then. So I should be talking a little differently and hopefully without as much of a lisp, because we're also going to be cutting my tongue tie. Finally. Because right now I can barely move my tongue still, and that's part of what's giving me the lisp. People always think that it's the piercing, but the piercing has nothing to do with it. I've spoken with a little bit of an impediment most of my life because I've been tongue-tied from birth. So when your tongue doesn't move very well, it changes the way you enunciate and articulate. And it even changes the way your face moves when you talk. Like, that part I don't think will change because my face has developed this way all throughout my life. And so the way I talk will probably look the same but sound different. Anyway, getting into the weeds here. So hopefully there'll be a part 2 to this in a few weeks where I talk about the process, how it felt day by day, and how long it took to do certain things and all that. As I said, I won't know for sure until then, but I'm super excited for this, and wish me the best of luck. I'll talk to you guys again soon.